Frosty, Heidi, and Frank. 520-9710. 888-520-9710. The Frosty, Heidi, and Frank Show.
Frosty, Heidi, and Frank, well into 2009 now. The 15th of January is already here. Finally put my Christmas tree up yesterday, by the way.
You put it up?
Well, in my...
A little late to put it up.
I mean, up as in back in the shed.
You gotta take it down.
Oh.
I took it down, then put it up. You know, it's stored
away.
I'm confused.
I put it away in my shed.
Sounds like he's just learning the English language. I take my
put that up.
My tree. I put up Christmas tree.
I put up tree, and then I put up tree. When Christmas is over, I put it up. What, if the kids leave stuff laying around, don't you go put that up?
No, put that away.
Yeah.
Or away. Put that up. You mean put it away? Either.
But when it's something like a tree that you have to put up.
You don't say put up when
to get it out.
Right.
True.
Let's go put the tree up when you're taking it out. You can't use up to put it away.
True.
No.
But technically, it was already up.
No one says, let's go put our toys up, which means get them out and play with them.
You say pick them up, but not put them up.
But if the tree is already up, and you say put that tree up, wouldn't that mean...
It's up.
What do you
mean put it up? It's up.
Put it up where it belongs.
Who's on first right there? Like, it's up. No, put it up.
It
is up.
Pop up and away! You are so lucky no one lives with you, because I swear to God, it would be murder-suicide. And worth every jail
because
sentence.
the way I word it, what I want to
We're 1 minute in, and she's already wanting to kill you.
1 minute, 53 seconds.
Well, happy holidays to you, too. Now put the goddamn tree away.
What don't you mean up?
Well, if someone did kill Frosty today, he'd be walking up to the pearly gates with Ricardo Montalban.
I know, and that's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, those were my favorite shows back in the day, 1978. I was 8 years old.
Fantasy Island.
Watching Fantasy Island.
I was 5. I remember watching.
You remember watching it at 5?
I think I was in grad school.
What was on for, how many years was that on?
I don't know. Probably not that many years. It just seems like it was on a long time because you were a kid.
Yeah, I think that was a late 70s, early 80s phenomenon.
Maybe
I think
3 seasons?
3, 4, maybe 5 max. I think it was done after that. Because that was the same era as The Love Boat. And I think we got really sick of these guest star shows, because you had those on at the same time, and Love American Style. I think about 3 or 4 years of that, we were done with that format. I
love Fantasy Island because that was, my brother and I, he's 2 and almost 3 years older than me. So we never had a great, cozy, brother-sister relationship. He was just an a-hole. And we never really got along except when I was super young, like Fantasy Island age, and we would watch that show, and I have fond memories of that show because he used to be very sweet to me. And he would take my hand, and he would hold my hand. And I remember this like it was yesterday, and my brother's an a-hole. We're not close at all. But when I was young, and he was still sweet, he would grab my hand, and he would be like Ricardo Montalban, and he would grab my hand, and he would go, "Oh, welcome, Mooney Makani." He would say Mooney Makani. I have no idea what it means. I think he made the word up, but it sounded fancy. And he would just touch my hand.
That was just made-up foreign language for welcome?
And tell my mom that, her hands are so soft, and he would Mooney Makani when Fantasy Island was on, and he was very sweet to me. And so I remember Fantasy Island watching that show, but then also him being nice to me.
When you said 5 at the time, you probably looked like Hervé Villachez. So he felt like he was Ricardo Montalban, Mr. Roll.
This is my sister's tattoo.
He's like, Heidi, could you go on the roof and say the plane, please?
I did that all the time as a kid. I always imitated tattoo,
Frank pulled up a clip.
The plane.
I think it'd be funny if when Ricardo's walking up to the pearly gates and there's St. Peter standing there and he's like, "Smiles, everyone, smile." And that's actually Hervé Villachez standing next to St. Peter. I'm St. Peter. I am your host. Welcome to heaven.
Because isn't that what heaven is?
They should be doing that. Just for him today.
Is probably a lot like Fantasy Island. In heaven, you get to be whatever you want to be.
Except in Fantasy Island, if I remember,
it always sucked.
Didn't something always go wrong?
Your fantasy never worked out.
Yeah, and you learned a lesson at the end, like, I really don't. Be careful what you wish for, because when you get it, it's not what you want.
She wants to see into her future. That'd be great, wouldn't it, boy?
And then she finds out
depends on what her future is.
She dies of horrible, painful cancer in her future.
And now she can't truly live and enjoy her life.
Dramatic pause on my face as I bring my champagne glass down. I'm Mr. Rourke, by the way.
Right,
I bring my champagne glass down. Now pause on my face as I look at her. She's in for it.
Boss, she looks nice.
I know her future. She's from Iowa. She's never left.
God, you watched it yesterday?
I just watched it a second ago. I sound like Dracula all of a sudden. She's never left, Iowa.
Oh, he did sound a lot like Dracula when you
Welcome. I am your host.
He was an impeccable guy. I mean, watching the clips there, I forgot how he stood straight up with his back straight and his nice suit all
slender,
crisp. He's an impeccable, distinguished-looking man.
I thought you would recognize him more or be a bigger fan of him for Khan.
Oh, I am. From Star Trek movies. What a great villain that was, the Wrath of Khan. And I've always wondered, I'm assuming most of you have seen that movie.
That's the only one of those I've ever seen.
Really?
And I remember going to the movie theater, and it's the only one I've seen. Never seen before, after. I don't even know how many there were before or after.
10, 9.
Was there a sequel of that?
There were 9? Wow.
I think the 10th one's coming out, I think, with J.J. Abrams this spring.
The reason I remember The Wrath of Khan, I remember Ricardo Montalban, and maybe that's why I went. I don't know, but I remember the worms in somebody's ear.
In Chekhov's ear. Remember we had Chekhov here on the show? That was the scene I was referring to. What a frightening scene. Put a big old brain-eating worm in someone's ear canal. It's going to tunnel its way through your head.
That's the only one I've seen.
What a monster Ricardo was in that movie to do that.
That's so creepy when you're 12 or however.
I didn't realize his character, the Khan character, was on the series, and they brought it back for a movie.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. And what I always wondered about that was in the series, which is filmed in the 60s, He was younger then, and he was very muscular. He was like a bodybuilder body. Then when they made the movie The Wrath of Khan, which is fast forward to the 80s, I guess, he was an older guy then, but obviously this is well past the Fantasy Island days, and he wasn't young in that. But his shirt was off, and he had this amazing, muscular, Thor-like body. I thought, was that a muscle suit they put on him?
No, he probably bulked up if he knew what character he was playing. Probably bulked up for it.
60 then?
Maybe.
He's 88.
What is his nationality? What is Montalban?
He's Hispanic. Yeah, Hispanic. He's one of the first successful, really successful Hispanic actors. Oh, you know what I heard?
Who's the first Hispanic actor to get a Lifetime Achievement Award?
Really?
I watched the news.
Someone told me he wore a toupee.
Well, of course. Jesus Christ.
I didn't know that.
You think a man of his age has a full head of hair like that?
Reagan had a full head of hair, and he was 115.
Well, look how that turned out for him.
No, I didn't know he wore a toupee.
What?
I didn't know. How did you know?
It looked fake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it fooled me. I thought it was his real hair.
Yeah.
On Fantasy Island, that was a toupee? Did he have his hair then?
Well, I think that was his hair on Fantasy Island, and then he started losing it, but he couldn't lose the Mr. Rourke hair.
Right.
And so he got I think it was more like a full-on wig, because they said that he would go to Star Trek conventions and sign autographs, and just showed a picture of him doing that. And he had like the full hair helmet on.
Yeah, it was long hair.
But you couldn't tell it was fake?
No.
The hair helmet?
Frosty.
No, it's like Sawyer's hair on Lost. Long, stringy, sweaty. I thought, wow, that's nice hair for a 60-year-old man.
You are not that naive.
I didn't know he wore a toupee.
Or maybe he is.
I didn't know.
Everybody else isn't. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Everybody else was like, nice hair, Ricardo.
Yeah, that's so believable. What are you, 90? With a youthful head of hair.
Do you also remember there was a period of time where he was well known for something else he did? Something to do with commercials. Remember the commercial he used to do?
Corinthian leather.
Yes, I think it was for Chrysler Cars. Fine, rich Corinthian leather. What the hell is Corinthian leather? Have you ever heard that since?
I would imagine it's leather from Corinthian.
I think they just made that up for the commercials.
like with Swedish, put Corinthian in front of everything. The Corinthian mattress. A Corinthian massage.
Corinthian meatballs.
Corinthian meatballs.
Yummy.
Since those commercials went away 25 years ago.
Corinthian furniture you put together yourself.
Have you ever heard or seen anyone say Corinthian leather since?
No.
I don't think it exists.
You never go to the furniture store and you go, now what is this?
It's fine, Corinthian.
Oh, that's Corinthian. Oh, really? Well, we'll take it.
Oh, like in the cars in 78? Well,
I'll
take it.
Have this delivered?
Like they used to put in the K car?
If you're ever trying to sell anything, if you're going on eBay or you have something in the penny saver, put Corinthian in there.
Or fine Corinthian.
All right. Or anytime today on the show, if you have to fit it in.
Corinthian kitchen table. And 4 chairs.
We have to fit it in today all over the show.
Fine Corinthian golf
I think we already
clubs.
have. You've already used it too much. You want to keep going throughout the whole show.
Oh, absolutely. I do. See that horse there? I'm still beating
it. Look, it's Eric Corinthian on line 1.
I'll answer the call as soon as our fine Corinthian phone system is working.
See how fun it can be?
The fine Corinthian hold button is stuck.
Well, that might be a little overkill.
Anyway, we'll have to get back with you, Eric.
Well,
he's used it 3 times, now it's overkill.
Not so much. I mean, you have to save it for special. Not just willy-nilly.
If you do want to join us, our fine Corinthian phone number is 888-520-9710. Let's see if this one works here with Nathan. Hello, Nathan.
No, it's actually Mason.
Mason, what's up?
Dude, I love you guys. I sat next to Ricardo Montalban on an airplane flying from New York to Los Angeles. The guy was a complete gentleman, and I actually asked him, because back when I was a kid, I loved Star Trek. I asked him about the con thing, and I said, dude, did you wear like a suit or something? And he said, no, I went to the gym.
That was his real muscles?
That was his real muscles from the...
I love that you called Ricardo Montalban dude.
I mean,
seems so wrong.
You know, the guy just like, he exudes just...
But does he speak in that cadence that he has when he acts? I mean, or is that acting? Does he
just like
that?
Corinthian leather? He's like, I'll order a Jack Daniels.
Wow.
I love some
rich Corinthian leather.
A bag of peanuts.
So when you were sitting next to him, did you notice anything odd about his hair? Apparently these two say
you know what? Everybody says that he wore a toque, but you know what? His hair looked just like everything he had, immaculate.
See?
Well, yeah, you're going to take care of a toupee.
Well, they're expensive.
Well, yeah, look at Shatner.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a good one.
Even though that looks like,
Wait, Shatner has a wig? I don't know.
Okay, Shatner's. If you didn't know Shatner wore a wig and you saw him, you wouldn't know it is because it's a very good one.
Well, it's good now. It wasn't always good. It used to look horrific until somebody said, why don't you get it thinned out a little bit? Because now it's not a full.
When it looked bad.
Yeah, when you're a certain age, you got to keep it real. So, yeah, if it's going to be fake, at least make it recede a little, thin it a little bit so that it looks more real than, hey, I'm 70, but look at my bouffant.
Does hair club, is that toupee or is that transplant?
I think they do everything now, according to the infomercials.
I think it's attaches to whatever hair you have.
But there's got to be like a hair country club for people with money that it really looks like hair.
Yeah.
But they actually probably kill people and take their hair and have some weird way of making it look like it's yours.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
No, there's supercuts. Then there's these Beverly Hills, salons.
Corinthian hair salon.
Corinthian Beverly Hills salon.
What I understand is if you want it that badly, why not do the implants? Why not take from the back of your head and put up here so that way you always that way it's
scary. It's surgery. Who wants to have their scalp sliced up? Plus, think of this. This is why a lot of people don't do that. What you do now is you slice a big strip of hair about an inch thick and 4 inches wide from the back of your head, and you take those plugs and you stick them in the front. But the technology now, it's no secret. They're experimenting with cloning hair. And in just a few short years, like maybe a handful of years, less than 10 probably, in the future, near future, they'll just take...
You'll have hair just like Dolly the sheep.
They'll take one hair.
Oh, you.
And they'll clone it in a bunch of Petri dishes, and therefore you never had to slice the back of your head up.
Right.
So I think a lot of people are waiting for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would make sense. 888-520-9710.
Just go bald. It's a sign of high testosterone.
Yeah, virility.
Do you think Howie Mandel was receding and that's why he shaved his head completely? Because he used to have kind of an afro like in the 70s.
Yeah, he just accepted it.
You don't really see the hairline on him. But
grow goatee, call it a day. I would if I were a guy, but I'd already have my head shaved.
Or he thinks his hair collects germs and he doesn't want to touch it.
Oh, that's probably it with Howie. Nobody ever calls him a second, but there's I'm not name dropping, I'm not going to say the guy's name, but there's a well-known, very successful movie producer who lives on my street, on my cul-de-sac.
When you're stalking now?
We see each other all the time. I just saw him yesterday, actually. We went out to get our trash cans, and there we had a little conversation.
How convenient.
No, it's...
You probably stare out the window and wait till you hear his front door open.
Yeah.
He's going, I'm going to go.
We just seem to get home at the same time a lot of times. So we have a little... Anyway, so he mentioned someone a couple conversations ago, just in mentioning a movie he was doing, and he mentioned who was in it, and then without even pausing me, he goes, he wears a toupee, you know.
Why would he say
kept rambling. So, well, can we go back to so-and-so? I said, he goes, yeah, no one knows that, but he does. He's bald as cue ball. Blah, blah, blah.
Who, John Travolta?
I'm not going to say who, but it's someone I had no idea. So that person
Well, if you don't say who, then why tell us?
Because my point is...
Give us an impulse.
Yeah, you got to tell us.
Maybe a hint or two. But my point is, these really, really up there, established,
You think it's a good story because you know who it is and you care. We don't care if we don't know who it is. Oh, there's a guy who's bald that's surprised to all of us.
I doubt we'd be surprised.
Really successful people must know of some sort of ultra-exclusive, ultra-secret...
So who is it?
It's an action hero.
Nicolas Cage?
Just say it's alleged and you're fine.
Everybody knows that, by the way.
I'm not saying anything more than that.
If it is him, everybody knows that.
I'm not, because then that would give away who my producer neighbor is.
And it's very obvious.
I'm just saying, these guys, there's a lot of bald actors out there you don't know are bald, because they get the top-notch, top-shelf, best there is hair piece, and you don't know. It's way beyond, Toupees Club or whatever.
Yeah.
This is like
action
good stuff.
Hero.
Yeah. Kind of a younger guy, too. You wouldn't think he'd be bald, but he's not old. But he is.
Dwayne Johnson?
Who?
Dwayne Johnson?
No, it's not him. No.
Oh,
I'm not going to acknowledge. I'm not going to acknowledge.
Obvious.
Dwayne Johnson?
I'm not going to acknowledge anything.
The initials are B and F, and everybody knows that.
Who?
BF.
I'm not acknowledging anything.
You tell me then. You guess, since he's not acknowledging
Brendan
anything.
Fraser?
Oh,
Brendan Fraser?
No, not him.
You think it's a wig?
No, he was in the Enquirer.
Look at whatever.
With a picture that showed a bit of thinning hair, but it's not him. No.
Oh.
But you know what? Everyone
heroes.
looks thinning.
Young action hero.
If the light hits you right, you might look sweaty and...
Shia LaBeouf?
I'm not acknowledging anything.
That's a wig? No wonder he's shy.
Oh, God.
Humber, what's going on?
Hey, what's happening, you guys? Man, you guys rock. I love you guys, man.
Hey, Humbert.
Hey, you know, when I was a kid, I don't know, it's probably junior high, we used to go hang out at Arcadia Mall, and they shot Fantasy Island over at the Arboretum over there. Well, when they were first doing the pilots and stuff, man, we were over there, and we happened to be right around the area. They're like, hey, you kids want to come in and watch Fantasy Island? Or, like, be shot? I'm like, yeah, hey, that's okay.
Wow.
And he comes out, he shakes hands. Hello, it's so nice to meet you. My name is Ricardo Montalban. What is your name? I said, Humbert. He goes, what kind of name is that? I said, well, actually, my name's Humberto, but, you know, I go by Humbert. You should go by Humberto. It sounds so much nicer rolling off the tongue. And I'm like, wow, man, this is, I mean, just listening to the guy like that talk, and then I met Claude Akins. You remember Claude Akins?
No.
The old cowboy dude played the Sheriff Lobo and BJ and the Bear.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He was golfing up at Eaton Canyon, and I looked at my buddy. I said, hey, man, that looks like Claude Akins. He goes, I ain't Claude Akins. I said, yeah, it is. Watch. Hey, Claude Akins. And he turns around, and that curly hair, and he goes, who called my name? I was like, yeah. Oh, man. I mean, hey, can you say that again? Who called my name? It was awesome, man. I love you guys.
Thank
you, Humbert. Got an email here. If you'd like to email the show, the address is letsbefrank971@msn.com, saying, I heard last night on the news that Ricardo Montalban is Mexican, and I told my husband that I was surprised he's Mexican because he seemed like such a classy guy. Oh. And I'm Mexican, too, and I didn't realize that I just put down my whole race.
Yeah, the cold culture in the toilet.
Yeah, he's Mexican. He seems so classy.
I guess I thought that he was like, I know it's not
Ben Affleck.
necessarily a Greek name.
I'm not acknowledging anything.
He's not an action star.
I said earlier
in that one movie where he was the blind superhero.
Oh, yeah.
There have been,
Ben Affleck?
I'm not, like I said at the beginning,
I can believe that.
Even if you say the name, I'm not going to say yes or no.
But why are you smiling like that?
Because I'm happy. I'm a happy guy.
You're not happy. You're smiling because I guessed it.
Always grinning.
That would surprise me, actually.
Ben Affleck? No,
that one would surprise
me. I didn't say anything.
Huh.
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't.
By not saying it and repeating that you never said it means it's him, right?
No, I'm just acknowledging that what I said earlier still sticks, that I'm not going to acknowledge the acknowledgement even if the acknowledgement happens.
All right.
And that's what I'm smiling about.
I think it's weird that my producer would walk around and tell my secrets on me.
That's what I
thought.
You're like,
you're an a-hole. You can't trust anybody.
Yeah, that's sort of a...
she wears a toupee. You're like, well, thanks a lot,
and I didn't even ask about the guy's hair. He just volunteered it to me. I thought, well, that's kind of selling out the guy you hire, isn't it?
No, was that a toupee and Geely, or was that his real hair?
Anybody who has a toupee...
Just trying to trip him up.
Everyone, when you walk out of a room, everyone says, you realize that's a toupee, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, it's like
that's why you probably should just accept it and go bald.
It's like the girl with the big
giant...
giant...
There's no one going to walk out. You realize he's bald? Right. Well, yeah, he was just here and he's bald.
Dummy.
Well, he's trying to cover it up with a hair hat. Or it's like, do you realize that's a hair hat? I was like, really? I thought so. Something didn't look right.
Yeah. It's like the girl who's a size, 0, but she's super skinny and she's got the big giant boobs, but she won't admit that she had a boob job. No, it's just I'm blessed. Bull ass. Who cares?
You remember John Wayne's toupee in his older days? For those of you old enough to remember when he'd go on the Tonight Show.
I don't think I've ever
Johnny
seen him without a hat.
Yeah, he had this. Well, he had a toupee that looked like my grandpa's toupee. One of these things back with that technology way back then.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
your grandpa had one?
He did. He never wore it. He had one. He would wear it for church.
Oh my God!
And what's funny is he would show up bald. He'd have the toupee out in the car and he'd be talking to people. And they go, hold on, I can put my hair on. He'd go out and then he'd go in to wear his toupee during the service, sitting down in the pew. Then afterwards, you go and take it off again and continue to talk to people.
God.
It was like a hat to him.
Somebody forwarded me the Wikipedia Corinthian leather definition. It says, Corinthian leather was a phrase invented for marketing use to describe the leather used in certain Chrysler luxury cars in the 1970s. In this case, Corinthian does not actually indicate any relationship with Corinth, nor any specific type of leather, and is added simply as a linguistic cachet. The first use of the term was to describe the leather in the 1974 Chrysler Imperial.
Ugh. They made it up.
Yeah, it says, although many misquote Montalban as saying rich Corinthian leather or fine Corinthian, he actually said in the commercial soft Corinthian leather.
Oh, he didn't say rich and fine?
No, he said soft.
I'm shocked.
But it's just made up for marketing.
Oh, that's funny.
A marketing term that does not actually indicate any particular type of leather.
How come nobody back then looked up Corinthian? I guess they didn't have internet back then. No one bothered to check. If I were Ford... I'd go.
What is with this Corinthian?
There is no such thing as Corinthian leather. Take that, Chrysler. Corinthian leather.
That's brilliant, really.
Soft.
We all remember
leather.
it all these years later. 34 years
Laura,
later.
real quick, like we're breaking, but what's going on? Laura, are you there?
Yes.
What's up?
Hey, Heidi, here's a visual for you. Frank's Army. Ooh, baby.
Hey, Laura.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only female that says Frank's Army.
No, he's got some cadets in there.
I call them my privates.
Oh, sorry.
I have to tell you guys, we were talking about this last night about, Ricardo, da-da-da. And I heard in my travels, too, that Corinthian leather was made up back in the commercial for Chrysler. And then my friend said no, that he heard just not too long ago that Corinthian leather was talked about in high luxury cars present day.
I've never heard
that. Maybe they thought, okay, they made it up in the 70s, because I remember the commercial.
Hi, Laura.
Yeah.
We got a break. Thank you, Laura.
She sounds like your mother. Do you hear how she
My mom
talks?
isn't that annoying.
No, I'm not saying what she said.
Well, we know where you got it from.
My mom didn't say worthless things on and on and on and on, and her son does that. It's quite lucrative. Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
This is 97.1 FM Talk.
A week from tomorrow, that'll be Friday the 23rd, the show is on the road. You can check out the Frosty, Heidi, and Frank show right in front of you, as we are going to be at Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Again, we love going there. It's in Cabazon, off the 10 freeway, Cabazon exit. That's Friday the 23rd. And if you want to go the night before, check out all the things you can find at the Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. A great place. You can spend the night and get a great room on the rate. A rate on the room. I not am dyslexic. If you call them and use this password, FHF69, that password, FHF69, gets your room for $69 at Morongo. See you there on the 23rd.
Got an email from somebody confirming that says, my friend works at a very high-end wig shop in Hollywood, and she does Ben's hair. Ben Affleck, that is.
Really?
Really?
But the fact the friend has talked about it, you think that would cost her
There's no
her job.
confidentiality. She's not a doctor. She works at a wig shop.
Right.
Well, there should be confidentiality. If you go to a high-end, very expensive place, they shouldn't tell other people, oh, guess who was just here?
Why not?
I pay for silence. I pay for you to keep your mouth shut.
Is that why you're going?
Anyone who goes to a high-end place that costs money out the ass.
Because you want to look good. It's high-end.
Well, yeah, but you also were paying to keep their mouth shut.
Everybody does it. Everybody in town does it. If you find a realtor, when I had my realtor when I bought my house, she goes, now I was so-and-so's realtor. Now I'm going to show you a house. This is so-and-so. And you're just like, well, they all talk. Barry White, I think she said. She goes, well,
you looked at Barry White's old house?
Yeah, but it wasn't Barry White. Like, he was moving out, and I'm thinking about buying, and it was like a couple of Barry White lived there.
When I first moved out, I bought Vic Tabak's son's house.
See? And how did you know that? Because the realtor told you.
Vic Tabak's son. He's not even in the business. He's like a lawyer or something.
But you have to. They mention it.
They're like, yeah, Vic Tabak's son lives here.
And you're like, wow, Mel's Diner. That's
I'm gonna have Mel's Diner's kid's house.
See what I'm saying? And that's everybody does it. So if you ever think that, they're not going to say anything, of course they're going to say something.
Then when I was looking for the home, I don't know if I live in now, but going through it, they're like, yeah, George Clooney lived here. I lived in George Clooney's house.
Wow.
You think just say
it was
that.
nice. No yard.
You think you just say that, though, because, would he really have lived in a place like that?
No, it was nice. I was like, I can see George living here.
But I remember that house you looked at, there was absolutely no yard at all. No.
But it was nice.
Yeah, but maybe if you...
Up in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah. He traveled all the time, so he probably didn't care about a yard, but you do.
You know, these stars have
like these walls could talk.
My God.
They have multiple houses, too, don't they?
Yeah.
They may actually live in Malibu, but if they're going to be filming at, Warner Brothers, they may have a little house in Burbank where they just spend 7 days a year, and that's it.
Or maybe this is a sales tactic. I'm sure, Frosty, if they told you this is George Clooney's house, you probably would have bought it.
Probably.
Just so you'd have, cool rub up on you.
But the weird thing is there wouldn't be any pictures anywhere of George Clooney or his family members. You take all of that down when you're selling your house. I know you take a lot of pictures down.
Oh, it was empty.
Oh, it was completely empty.
Yeah, it was everything was gone already. He doesn't need to live there until he sells it.
Well,
he can move and just wait. He paid 2 mortgages.
I guess you're right.
Remember the house I told you about a couple of years ago? Look, I'm a snoop. I have no interest in buying a house. And I can't afford the houses I look at, but I can't help it. I love looking at houses. And in nice places like Toluca Lake, which is not far from where I live, if I'm driving with nothing to do on a Sunday afternoon and I see open house and it's a really nice house, I comb my hair and go and act like, oh, well, let me see if this will fit with my needs, what I'm looking for. Remember the house I told you a couple of years ago?
Do you do that voice with the realtor, too?
God.
Let's see.
And there was a really nice multi-million-dollar house, which I really loved. And the realtor said, it was advertised as celebrity home.
What?
That was the ad. It said celebrity home. Didn't say
wrong.
who. So I asked the realtor, when no one was around, said, so who's the celebrity? She goes, oh, I can't say. Then I made it my mission to find out. I remember I came in and told you
how
who
annoying it is when people don't tell you the story?
I know, but I went snooping and I found photographs. Remember I told you?
Yeah,
Kevin Spacey's house?
Yep.
I found photos of him like in the basement, a basement bedroom. It looked like a little girl slept in or something.
Yeah.
It was like a child's bedroom. And there were pictures of Kevin Spacey.
Maybe it's a little girl's bedroom and she's a Kevin Spacey fan. Well, she loves American Beauty, and she just loves him.
But it was like pictures of him on the dresser and stuff. Well, you would only do this.
She lies on her bed and drops rose petals all over herself.
Like Thora Birch.
Then when I was house shopping 10 years... It said
pulled that out
Birch.
of my out. Well, she was the lead in American Beauty, dummy.
But she wasn't the girl who had the rose petals dropped all over her.
I know, but I don't know her name, and it's not a funny name
don't
anyway.
Throw out somebody else's name.
Thora
Jesus
Birch.
Christ, Stillwell.
Don't blame this on me. She did it.
I was calling her a Stillwell. Like something that doesn't have to do with anything, and then throwing it out there just to prove that you know someone's name.
That's the meanest thing you've ever said.
Well, isn't it true? Didn't you pull a Stillwell?
No, I think it's a funny name. Actually, if I'm being completely honest, I thought Thora Birch was the one who slept with him.
Well, no. That was his daughter.
Yeah, I'm realizing that as
Pulling a Stillwell is what exactly?
Right now.
I don't know. I just made that up.
No.
You're saying really stupid things.
No, it was throwing something out there that didn't need to be there just to look intelligent.
Yeah. I won't do it again, I promise.
It's not really a slam.
That's pretty much everything I say. I won't be able to speak if I don't.
I'm ashamed of myself.
It's not really a slam.
If I don't follow the Stillwell rule, I won't have anything to say.
And when you do it, what can I call you?
Pulled another you.
Oh, you.
Anyway, so years ago when I was kind of house shopping, I think that's when Frank decided to get him a really nice house, and Heidi got that really nice house, and I was still in my starter house, and I felt kind of shown up.
Right.
And I thought, well, I'm going to get me a nice house now. So I went looking around the Hollywood Hills, not far from where I live. I love the area, but I'm in probably the smallest house of the whole hills is me. I thought, maybe I can do better than this. So I'm driving around Sunday afternoon, open house, and you guys, that big, when you go up the hill, is that really nice white mansion where you go up the curve, that really nice 4-story. I thought, wow, open house there, I'll go in there and look around, see if I can swing this. So I went in there, and the realtor immediately said, oh, yeah, this is a guy, you'd love this house, man, you're like a partier, right? I'm like,
a partier?
Yeah, that's what he said, you're a partier, right? Why, sure.
Give him that idea.
I don't know.
He goes, yeah, well, it's just, man, Rat used to own this house. Man, the parties they had here. I'm thinking, ew.
The whole band of it?
I don't want it now. Ew.
Yeah, the whole band there together.
I don't want to touch anything then. It's like, oh, God, I'm glad I have shoes on. Can you imagine the stuff in that carpet? Rat parties.
But yeah, if you ever think that you're...
I know some Rat.
Yeah, you
really?
do.
Yeah.
Ask about the big house with the big chandelier and the...
Robbie, the bass player, he's like a friend of mine.
Really? Well, I've been in his house.
You're like, ew.
I don't know.
Name?
I don't know if you guys
dirty,
are...
Rats live here?
I don't know if you guys... Yeah, you'd think you'd leave that off if you're trying to sell the place. You wouldn't want to bring up Rat or, hey, do you have a hot band Cockroach? Yeah, they were living here for a while.
Before you bring whatever you're going to bring up,
Yeah.
I did do a tease during the Corolla show. I saw this where it says, tired of the dangers posed by... Well, I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but hundreds of women in the Italian city of Naples have pledged to go without sex unless their men stay away from blank. Hundreds of women got together and have a sex strike. They're so upset with their men. They can't stay away from certain things. So like, you know what? We're stopping sex until you guys quit it.
I want to guess.
Quit it!
Oh.
Naples. I've been to Naples. That's where, southern Italy, there's a big...
I've been to Naples, Florida.
Oh, no. Not everyone's mafia there, but the crime syndicate is based in Naples. There's a lot of seedy stuff. I'm guessing the racetrack, the gambling racetrack in Naples. No, that was my guess.
My only guess is football.
They're tired of the dangers posed from football. No.
I don't know.
Fireworks.
What? It's that big an issue?
Yes. Stay away from pyrotechnics. I guess this one lady started this little thing, this sex strike, because her father was left partially paralyzed and with epilepsy after a firework exploded next to him.
Oh, jeez.
That can give you epilepsy?
God. I guess so much of a loud bang.
How horrible is that moment?
That wasn't a snake or sparkler.
The idea of a sex strike, these hundreds of women got together to do this for this certain town, but I can't see you doing this, Heidi, to get your way. Pulling the sex strike in the home place, where it's like you want something and you're in the middle of an argument and you're just going to have a one-woman sex strike.
No.
And until you actually get your way. Use sex as a weapon.
Never.
And that's who I want to talk to, is the women out there who have had one-woman sex strikes, or I don't care if it's community sex strikes, because he's going out with the boys. Well, I'm not going to have sex with you till you dump your friends.
Right. A lot of women do it.
Yeah, and what you did it for, and if you're a guy, if you caved, or if you said screw you and you left her,
and how long did you go?
And how long did you go?
I don't think screw you would fit in that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Our number's 888-520-9710 if that's you.
Because I don't like that when you start using sex as a weapon,
or even a bartering tool. Quite frankly, oh, well then fine. If you're going to do that, then or in order to get you to do something, I will throw in something.
Well, you kind of do that, Heidi, in the way that it's not really a bartering tool, but it's considered a gift or a special occasion treat. When it's, No.
I've said before on the show that I may not be into a certain sex act, but if I know that that's something that rocks your world, then I may not do it all the time, but definitely for special occasions, I will go, here's the backstage pass to go ahead, happy birthday.
How do you know you don't like that if you don't practice?
Well, you have a point there.
You might really like it.
No, I'm just using that as an example.
So you do like
of
that.
something. I like it all. But
really?
I think that I'm just using that as an example as something that probably a lot of husbands want, or maybe have never had and are curious about, or whatever. They've had it once with an ex. I went, God, I want to do it again. But the wife's going, I don't know, I'm scared.
I guess
this
is more
hurt.
of a wife thing, because I guess girlfriends can't pull sex strikes.
Oh, sure they can.
No.
Sure, if you live together.
We're not married. I don't have the lifelong commitment to you, but when a wife assumes that I can't go do anything and I'm stuck with you,
but if you're in a committed relationship, if you're in a committed relationship with a girlfriend and you're living together, it's not just, well, then I'll just leave. Well, you still might have complications. You might have a home together. You might have stuff, and I know you're against that anyway, but you might. So it's not just easy just because you're dating and you're not legally married.
So once she locks you into a home together, that's when she pulls a sex strike, because you can't just get out?
Or an apartment lease.
But, Heidi, the girlfriend has legitimate comeback to go, look, we're not married. I don't have to put out if I don't want to. Whereas the wife has a harder sell with that line of reasoning, because you're supposed to, you got married for a reason, to be there for each other.
Well, but then the boyfriend could say, well, we're not married, so I've never said forsaking all others to you, so I'm heading to the bar.
That's what I'm saying. So you're saying the wife has to have sex?
It's a harder sell for her to go on strike, because, if I married you, there's an understanding we are going to have sex. That's a major part of getting married, is it not? Now, the girlfriend, okay, we're not married, so I guess technically either of us could leave anytime we want.
I don't think it's a major part of getting married.
No.
It has to be.
No.
It's not.
Sex is not a major part of getting married, you say?
No, I don't think so. That's the major sacrifice of getting married.
In the
you sacrifice
days,
sex when you get married.
Right.
Let me rephrase it. I would assume that when you get married, it's assumed that you will be able to have sex with your wife or husband. That sex is going to be part of our relationship now because we're married.
You know that, but it's not like, okay, you're thinking old school where we haven't had sex and now we're going to get married and you're a good girl and you're not going to have sex till we get married, and so now it's going to be sex all the time and we're married. Nah, not so much anymore.
Nay.
It's in this case, you get married, and she's saying, it's kind of like the auto workers or anyone else going on strike, the actors strike that might happen, who knows. Well, to make these movies, make these shows, you need these actors.
Right.
And you're stuck with each other, everything's going to stop.
Right. You need me and I need you. So we got to come to some sort of agreement.
Okay.
And if we can just run out and get some more actors, then you don't have any power with your strike. And so in this case, with a wife, you can't run out.
Right.
Because...
Well, yeah.
Isn't that grounds for divorce, technically?
Yeah, if it lasts very long, I'd say get out.
Well, that's why if you're married, I think you should maybe not go on a sex strike, because that's giving your spouse grounds for divorce. So be careful when you play that card.
I mean, are you talking like...
Is that a box in the divorce? I forgot the divorce papers. It's like, oh, she had a sex drive. Check that box.
Is I'm out. Loss of consortium or some fancy lawyerese way of saying?
How did he know what it meant when I saw it? Check that, too.
Maybe that's some of the mistakes you made.
I don't know.
Do you think it's like as simple as like stupid, she hates facial hair and you like having to go to your beard, and she's going, well, no, then no, don't.
Shave or no sex.
Right. That's something, so I'm sure it gets into bigger things, but it starts out like, no, gross, I don't like it.
We want to hear it all. We want to hear the big things, the big issues you held back for, and then the little things. This is the stupid little thing that you held out for with sex.
And we come back, we'll get you on. See the calls there already. 888-520-9710. You're next. Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
97.1 FM Talk.
97.1 FM Talk. We're Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Hundreds of women in Italy have got together in a small town and decided to call a sex strike until their husbands stop playing with fireworks.
That is bizarre.
Well, it's bizarre, but it's like, I think the idea of a sex strike is kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
And I know that probably over here, women do the same thing, just not in mass numbers like that, but they all get together and decide to do it, so everyone quits. It's usually home, and you want your husband to do something. To get him to do it, you say, I'm going to hold back for sex.
Matthew? Hello.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Matthew?
Hey, yeah, my wife does. If I don't shave my head, she tells me I'm ugly, I'm hideous. It's all out of love, of course, but she won't let me get next to her. She until I shave my head. And before I met her, my hair was very wavy, very long. And now because of her, my hair is it's getting very thin, receding hairline. So
now, Matthew, are you talking about when you need to shave your head? Like you shave your head, and then when you've let your growth come out a couple days, and it's like rough and scratchy, and she goes, "Ooh, go shave it. I like it clean and shiny."
Yes, not like shaved completely, but with the clippers, get down.
Okay.
But it's like, it's a hassle for me to just, I shave my head myself, but it's like, and when you want to do your thing and she just looks at the top of your head and say, well, no, you need to go shave your head.
Isn't that odd because you had hair when you met? I would understand,
he's receding now, and she goes, you look gross with receding.
I mean, I kind of...
You look gross.
I kind of, in a weird sort of way, get the woman's frustration if you tried everything else to get the guy to do something he should do. Honey, unless you do this, no more sex. But in this case, you can't help hair. It's not anything he's doing wrong.
Well, it could be back hair or undercarriage hair or whatever. She's like, clean it up.
This is easy. She's saying to him, when I met you, you had a full head of hair. That's fine. I'm cool with that. Well, now as you're getting older, it's thinning and it makes you look older. I'm not sexually attracted to you, but when you shave it down, and it just looks tight. Yes, of course.
That doesn't seem like a little thing that she's making a big deal out of. I mean, he wants to grow his hair out. Everyone, if you go from clipping it pretty tight to wanting to grow your hair out long and wavy like it used to be, and that's what he wants to do. There's always that mid-growth stage where it doesn't do crap. It looks like hell.
Right.
So she shouldn't be holding out sex. It's his hair.
Well,
it's his head.
I agree she shouldn't be holding out, but it's no different
He has to walk around looking like an ass all day long.
She's saying that I'm not attracted to you with your hair longer and
you're only
receding.
attracted to my hair.
I think it's the same as if a husband's saying, I like you with blonde hair.
How about you turn around, you want to see my head. Shut up.
I like you with blonde hair. And the wife keeps going to getting her hair done, and she comes back brunette, and you're like, well, what the hell?
Well, I'm never going to have a sex strike for the color of her hair.
Right.
I might not take her out.
I get it if a guy grows a long, scratchy beard that she's very uncomfortable being with.
Right.
I can get that, but just whether or not you've got your hair long or medium or shave it, that's kind of irrelevant. As Frank said, he has to walk around the rest of the day. It's his body, too. What do you think, Dee Dee?
Hi, this is Dee Dee, and I'm calling. I was with the guy for 5 years. He always asked to go to the back door, and I was reluctant. And 1 year, because he would always go skiing, so I finally said, look, babe, if you don't go skiing, and it was around Valentine's Day, and I said, if you don't go skiing this time, I'll let you go to the back door.
So was he the black diamond or the brown starfish?
What every man's dream is. Okay?
Yeah.
To the back door, and let me tell you, I was a little reluctant. I had to do some preparation. I never had an orgasm like I had at that time. And we've since broken up, but in the past 3 years, he's had a girlfriend. She won't give it to him. He knows where to come. And now, in more than one place, okay? But I'm saying girls should give it a try. They shouldn't try to use sex as a tool. You know? They shouldn't use sex as a tool. I got used to it, and you the only one I allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Not even my own boyfriend knows.
Not even Daddy.
So you cheat on your boyfriend with your ex-boyfriend, but only backdoor.
Well, we have a child together, so it's not really cheating. You know.
Yeah, you always have a pass if you're the baby's mama.
And we, you know,
a pass to the ass.
Yeah, a pass, and I love it, and I don't think women should, you know, give it a try. Give it a try, you'll like it. And if I saw stars, I think other women can see stars too.
We're speaking with Sarah Palin. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
James in Riverside.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, James?
I don't think I'll get a credible answer from Frosty. So, Frank, and how's it going, Heidi?
Hey, baby.
Frank, what type of guy puts up with this? See, I'm being honest, all jokes aside. What type of guy puts up with a woman that's telling you she's not going to put out?
A guy who's completely stuck in a situation.
Well, I mean, but still there's options. I mean, come on.
That's why God made whores.
You're talking stuff, meaning married, got the kids, got the house.
The paid ladies.
Yeah, the house, the kids. It's too complicated to get out, so it's cheaper to keep.
But it seems to me like the guy who's completely stuck like that, he's like, I don't care. You can go ahead and, you know, and not have sex with me.
Right.
I don't ever foresee that day, but no woman will ever tell me or give me an ultimatum about sex because there's so many women out there. Come on, that's weak. That's the very essence of weak right there.
James, is it weird that I'm on your side, though you didn't want to hear from me? I wouldn't put up with it either.
I didn't know. I didn't say I didn't want to hear from you. I didn't think you'd be able to give me a credible answer.
Well, I kind of said earlier, when you get married, in my old-fashioned way of thinking, you're there to please each other. Even if you have a headache, you kind of, you know, and sex is part of getting married, and that's one of the reasons you got married, to have sex with each other. And you go on strike, you're violating the marriage agreement in my mind.
I do agree with that answer, though, Frosty.
And if you can't do certain things because of certain times, or certain other, then you got to make up for it. Yeah, there's other things you have.
Mm-hmm. Buy the Kama Sutra book, people. There's more than one position. There's more than one way to skin a cat. That may not be the right saying.
Probably
for
not
that
a way
situation.
of saying that, but
exactly.
Our number's 888-520-9710. By the way, the show has a website. If you haven't checked it lately, bookmark it. Keep in touch at FrostyHeidiandFrank.com.
Well, you should, because it's just been updated. I guess Heidi's movie, her little short film she was in called Living With It, is now the featured video. Based on yesterday's show, American Idol and the blind guy. Heidi, well, whatever, I just ruined it. But go ahead and watch it. The acting is phenomenal. And there's a new Photoshop of Heidi and the Italian and Heidi's friend who's on the dating service. Yeah, the Photoshop section. And there's been a dozen more asses added to the ass album in the photo gallery. Yes, I did a little work last night, finally.
All this and more, as they say, at FrostyHeidiandFrank.com.
This is 97.1. FM Talk.
Get complete shows from Adam Carolla, Frosty, Heidi and Frank, Danny Bonaducci, Tom Likas, and more. Just go to 97.1FMTalk.com and subscribe with iTunes.